Hospital porters' pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Herpanwo TV. Well, the other day I was looking through YouTube and I came across this video here. Glass bombed in Burnley. The channel that produced it is Worldwide News Service. I'm just going to play you their little intro now, which is very encouraging.
Wide News Service. Truth in Broadcasting. Your source for unbiased media.
Truth in Broadcasting, your source for unbiased media. Well, that sounds right up my street. Let's continue. Very slick, isn't it? It's obviously they've done a good job here on the graphics. Go forward slightly. This is the setting for the film. This is the scenario. It's a street in Burnley. This man here, an American reporter, is talking to these two women here who are supposedly local women. They have local accents, but their faces are blanked out. We don't know who they are. And what's happened is they're talking about the sort of like the multicultural aspects of Burnley. And Burnley is a sort of like very Asian area. It's very multicultural, and they're talking about how these nasty Muslims are making their lives hell and they're destroying the town, and you know they're not safe to walk the streets at night. Their children are being groomed, etc. That is, they befriend these young girls and then they turn them into sex slaves. Basically, this is the attitude. But I'll have that. This situation does exist, but I'm going to have more to say on that later because it's been distorted. So what happens is they're talking like this for a while. They're talking for a while, and then at 2 minutes and 46 seconds in,
where people of what we call third world come into.
Let's move forward slightly. Notice cars starting to block us. Right, if you watch this video, you'll see several cars drive past, a couple of them parking. But I mean, there's nothing in the video that indicates that these cars are doing anything other than driving around and parking.
But these young girls nowadays, they don't know.
Now, we're going to go forward slightly.
You see, 13 is a very impressionable age. You're not an adult.
There we go forward slightly.
Yeah, I'm from here. I've lived around here all my life, more or less.
Now, you see, she receives a call. Someone tells her to get out of there. Again, the guy in the car giving hand gestures. I can't actually see him giving any significant hand gestures. There are some people behind sort of waving. One guy's waving a newspaper now. I just can't remember where that was. He'll come up here. It's the guy with the yellow shirt there. Where is it? An interesting point to make is this camera is handheld. It's not on a tripod. It's moving around. It looks like it's on maybe on a shoulder mount. On a.
And you mentioned, and she mentioned.
Where?
Bowling,
let me just find them.
Okay, and bowling. Okay, all right, bye-bye.
Just going to go back. There's a guy with a yellow jacket there, and he starts waving at the camera. As people do when they see a camera on the street. There he is. Look, that's him. Do you see him? Notice how the camera moves away from him. Watch this bit again.
She was 12 and she was groomed up Bruncher. Yeah. And she ended up with I don't know how many Asians and that.
Now you said that you live and you don't come out at night.
No, I can't come out at night.
There, look, he's waving at the camera.
Stopping me on the street.
This is what people do, don't they? When they have that's what people do when you know when there's a camera crew on the street. Right, so we'll continue. We'll go. What happens is we go forward and apparently this girl receives a call telling her to get the hell out of there. I don't see any hand gestures from anyone in the car. Again, you can't see what this young woman is doing because it's blanked out. She's anonymous.
You mentioned, and she mentioned bowling.
We're going to go forward slightly
and,
to six minutes past.
All right, bye-bye. You talk about bowling.
And the of three singles.
Right. At this point, he reports there's a group of people behind him.
Now I notice behind me there's starting to be groups of people coming about, and they've called on their cell phones. So is that kind of like what they call a flash mob gathering?
Where are they? Can't the camera turn around and show us? I mean, it's obviously a small crew. Presumably he has a director, or maybe he's the director of the film. Surely he can indicate and show us where this flash mob is gathering, where these people are on their cell phones, as the Americans call them, the mobile phones, gathering a mob.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go forward a little bit further now. This woman then leaves the scene.
That's hard to hear.
Yeah, it is.
He warns her to get the hell out of there for her own safety.
It's hard to hear when you can't go out to shop to get what you need.
As we see, the mob is starting to collect around.
Where's this mob starting to collect? I don't see them. There's a mob starting to collect. Surely this camera can show us. If you know, I'm saying go and watch this film yourself. Look, here's the URL. Don't take my word for it. Go and watch it yourself. Where's the mob? I don't see them.
And I fear more for Samantha than myself because...
Samantha's in danger. That woman, who we don't know if that's her name or not. We don't know who she is. But he fears for her safety.
I'll fight, but I don't
from mobs that we can't see.
So we're going to go ahead and cut this interview short because it's starting to get a little bit hostile on the outer region. And there's more...
What I mean now, though. Can you sit? Yeah, I would.
Okay, thank you.
And then there's a cut, and we get a new scene. The camera person had to move quickly from keeping us being hit. Right, really. And we lost sound for a few minutes. Right, well, this is the mob that they're talking about, that he's talking about. These gang here, look. We don't even hear what they're saying, but it's... Do they look hostile to you? They don't look it. They look they look fairly friendly, actually. And you'll see later on, they more of them gather. But this music, sinister music is playing, and these guys are... It looks like a kind of, maybe kind of Muslim Benny Hill, but apart from that, you know, it doesn't look particularly sinister. And we'll go forward a little bit further to see more guys gather, but again, does it look like hostility? We see cars parking, giving a hand signal. I can't see any hand signal. None of those guys give a hand signal. But it may well be happening off camera. But then that's what's happening. That's the feature of this entire video. Everything happens off camera. They're blocking us in. They're parking. I don't see any, you know, it doesn't look like that to me. If it does, why doesn't the camera show it? I mean, I wasn't there, I don't know what happened, but that's why that's why they have cameras, mate. That's what reporters do. They're now blocking us in. Well, these guys look more curious. I mean, they look to me as what often happens when a camera crew appears on street. People gather around and they speak and they find out what's going on. I know this because from my own reporting, people often approach me on the street and say, "What are you doing?" You know, and they want to know what I'm up to with my camera, doing her Panwo TV. Right, now then. Apparently the hand signal's getting now. We're going to go forward a little bit. At this point...
Discipline or what? More discipline.
Did you hear that? I heard a sound of breaking glass. Someone threw a bottle. I didn't see anyone. Throw a bottle. Now the camera wheels around up in the air. And what's this cameraman doing? I hear the sound of breaking glass and bottles being thrown. I don't see any... He doesn't try to film the broken glass. Where's the broken glass that they're being hurled... Where's the bottles? Where's the broken glass on the ground? Can't they get a shot of that as proof? Can't they get a shot of the guy throwing the bottle? Yes, I can hear the sound of glass breaking, but for all I know, this was added post-production, along with this sinister, chilling music.
Alright.
We are now under attack as I make my way to the car. Right, well...
Well, there you...
I haven't seen... What happens now is he's gone to another area a little way away, and he has a rant about immigration and multiculturalism and Islamification and, you know, every MP voting for Sharia law and all such nonsense like that. And he's basically has a rant. That's what the rest of the film consists of that. But the main problem I have with this film is that and I mean all the malign action that he's describing happens off camera, even though there's a camera there that could capture it. So... We don't know. For all I know, I mean, I could go out and make a film like this. I could add the sound of breaking glass along with this chilling music for effect, and I could pretend I was attacked by a gang of Muslim thugs. I've made a. This is the article I wrote on her Panwo Voice about this, which this film is based on. Worth checking out. And now you might ask yourself, right? Let me just turn the camera around so you can see me. That's it. I don't have my tripod with me, unfortunately. Why would somebody make a fake video about Muslims attacking people? You know, I mean, there's no... Because this is what I suspect. From what I've seen there, for all I know, that is a hoax. It's quite likely that what we've just seen is a hoax. It is a video that's been made. They just capture these guys on the street and they make it, using clever techniques of filmmaking and false reporting, they make out that they've been attacked by a mob. Why would someone do that? Well, the reason is there's an agenda in the media today, in politics and in society general, to set Muslims up as the evil bad guys. And now I wrote another article called BNP Mad Dogs, and there's a link in that glass bombed in Burnley. I'll put the links in the description box. The glass bombed in Burnley video, the glass bombed in Burnley article. There's a link there to the article called BNP Mad Dogs, and it's all about a speech by Nick Griffin, the leader of the British National Party, where he talks about this phenomenon of grooming. Right now, before some of you are going to say, well, what do you know about it, Ben? You're not a young girl living in Burnley. No, I've never been to Burnley in my life, but I've lived in a multicultural area. I've lived in an Asian area, and I know that there's an element of truth to this. It does have its problems. It does. I'm not denying that, but it's been blown out of all proportion by these various far right parties and by, with the collaboration of the media. And when the media's involved, it means the major political parties are involved and major politicians are involved. Because we hear a lot about the EDL, the English Defence League, this organisation that was set up in Luton. Very well known. It's very well known for its very, very noisy and disruptive street protests. Well, I mean, that organisation definitely has links to Zionist organisations and to the American neoconservatives, which are setting up Muslims as the bad guys. As I said, this agenda, it all goes back to 9/11, right? 9/11 was supposed to be the impetus that turned Muslims into what Brian Gerrish very eloquently calls the new Jews. Because the way Adolf Hitler did this in Nazi Germany in the 1930s, setting up the Jews as the bad guy, the secret rulers of this world, the Illuminati, or whatever you choose to call them, are doing with our world, but they're using Muslims instead of Jews. 9/11 was supposed to kickstart it. And obviously that, I don't think it had the impetus that it wanted, but the manipulators are going ahead with the program. This is what this Innocence of Muslims movie is about. This is what those stupid Danish cartoons were about. It's a bait. It's bait in the trap. They're stirring people up. They're stirring up Muslims, and they're stirring up, and consequently, they're stirring up the anti-Muslims. I mean, in my article, BNP Mad Dogs, I actually explain, and I've written several times about this, how Anjem Chowdhury, who is the leader of the antithesis of the BNP and the EDL, this organisation called Al Muhajirun, is almost certainly a British intelligence agent. He worked for MI6 during the Bosnian War, and now he's working for British intelligence now, just dressing up. You get these guys with their beards and their shirt tails hanging around on doing soldiers' funerals and doing really distasteful things like protesting when a soldier dies or burning poppies and stuff like this. These guys are, at least the leaders, I think, are controlled. They're controlled by the government. It's very important that we see Muslims as the evil guys. This is why I made that video, one of the videos that cost me my job, Microchip a Muslim Day, because this is where it's leading. If they can get us to turn against Muslims, we can fight them. It's divide and conquer. They'll put microchips in us all. We'll support the microchipping of Muslims in order to prevent grooming of young girls, and then they'll come along and do the rest of us. And now I know what someone's going to say. Someone's going to put in the comments box now, so let me get in there before you do. Well, don't you care, Ben, about girls being groomed? Don't you think something should be done about it? Do you really think do you really think they should just be allowed to get away with it? No, I don't. But the thing is, my cousin's friend was groomed. Okay, there's a girl I know was groomed when she was age 14 or 13, something like that. She's this girl who was approached by a group of men, just like these girls they talk about in the video, who cultivated her friendship and then sexually abused her, or they were about to before she got the hell out. Well, There was a BNP stall once in London I saw, and I went up to the person manning it, and I told them about this, and they were very, very keen. But then they lost interest and they turned away, and they didn't want to talk about it anymore. The reason was that the men who groomed this girl, my cousin, well, it was a friend, but it was I don't want to protect her. I want to protect her identity. They were all white Englishmen. And the thing is that white English groomers are operating under the radar at the moment thanks to idiots like these. And no one's doing anything about that. So I could just as easily turn it around to you and say that you, these anti-Muslim fanatics, you're threatening the safety of our children because you don't care about the white groomers. And this leads me to believe that maybe this issue is not about grooming at all. And the people behind this campaign don't care either. Sure, they've got a lot of genuine people maybe tagging along, but the people behind the campaign don't give a damn because what they'd want is they don't want to stop grooming, they don't want to stop halal meat, they don't want to stop any of that. They want to. They're playing their role in this hate Muslims propaganda show. We must not fall for it, and it needs to be exposed. And videos like Glass Bombed in Burnley need to be exposed if they are a hoax, which I strongly suspect this is. So don't believe the hype. Thanks for watching. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order.